What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Classic Octane. I am Taylor. It has been a few weeks since I put out a video, which is killing me. So that's all about to change. We have new projects that are just starting, and I kind of wanted to throw together this video, give you guys a little update of what I've been working on, and kind of let you know what to expect over the next few weeks. So to start off the update, we will talk about the 7-day Cb500. As you can see, it is still here. Working on a deal with actually a couple of customers. It's been pretty cool. After I built this bike, it's actually like drummed up a few future projects because people really like it and they're like, hey, I already have a bike. Can you build me one similar? Or, you know, oh, I want that bike, but I'd like to do a different seat and a different tank. And it just like ends up being another custom build that we're gonna do. And it's been really cool. So it's not officially sold yet. It looked like it was going to be going to Europe for a while, but after that potential customer went through all the kind of import taxes and all that stuff, it kind of became a little cost prohibitive. So I have a few people reaching out that are looking for shipping quotes and trying to figure out and get a deal done. I haven't actually advertised it anywhere or anything like that. I'm just, I'm not in a huge rush to sell it. I'd rather wait until the right customer comes along before I get rid of it because I like it. The only things I've had to do since you guys saw it last was I did end up replacing the master cylinder because the one I put on there started leaking, and instead of replacing it with another OEM one, I just went with the exact same one I run on my Kawasaki because it's worked out great on this bike and it's black and it's pretty sleek. So I did that. Otherwise it's perfect. I haven't had to do anything. It's pretty much ready to go. I haven't actually done the license plate mount or the mirrors or anything because I want to give that option to the future buyer. So we'll see if I end up needing to actually advertise that bike for sale or if we end up, through YouTube or Instagram finding a buyer for it. But I trust that that bike will probably be sold in the next week to 10 days, if I had to guess. Let's update you on another bike over here. So this was the Cb500 Restoration that you guys have seen a couple of videos on. I ended up putting it on the back burner to do the 7-day build. I jumped back on it and then we immediately got swamped with a lot of kind of customer work. So that's a lot of what I've been doing over the last 2 weeks is I've done, I think 4 or 5 carburetor rebuilds, all Cb550 carburetors or Cb500 just like this. So I can't really do a how-to video on that or anything because I've already shown all of that on the channel, which is why I just knocked it all out. I've been doing some vapor blasting and that kind of stuff as well. But for this bike, I started to try to remove, if you don't remember, there were some letters that were stuck into the tank right here. And when I kind of started to lightly sand that, it just ate through this like sun-faded thin paint. And then, ended up looking pretty terrible. So I decided to go ahead and say, you know what, let's just see if we can paint the green section of this tank back to an OE, green paint. So I bought the proper Jade green metallic paint, which is ridiculously expensive. 2 aerosol cans of it were $130. But it is really good quality. I've used it for a CT70 restoration in the past, and it matches really well. So for the proper paint, it does cost some money, but this is gonna be a little mini, I don't wanna call it a mini series. It'll be like a how-to video that I'll put together with what I learned doing this process, how I'm going to tackle it, and then you guys will hopefully learn something. I will learn something as far as matching factory paint. Most of the other paint jobs I end up doing are just full custom colors. So this will be interesting to try and just paint one section of the tank, have it try to match the side covers. And so once that is done, then this bike will be going up for sale. But I figured since everything else on the bike looks really good, having the tank be really nice and shiny paint isn't gonna be a bad thing. I'm gonna be sad to see this one go though, because I've never actually owned like a completely stock or very close to completely stock CB before, and I kind of dig it. Next bike I want to update you on is this one. So I actually pulled this into the shop right after I finished the 7-day 550. This is my 750. I don't even remember what year this is. 73, 75, somewhere in there. And we bought this bike a couple of months ago. You probably remember. It's the one that had this white gas tank with this like kind of 70s seat on it. And I pulled it in because I've started to film a Will It Run video, probably about 50 or 60% done with that. I wanted to kind of bust that Will It Run video out and get it out for you guys this week. just because I've been dying to get some content out. But all of these customer projects, of course, have to, kind of take priority over my own projects. So this is gonna stay in the shop. I'm not gonna put it back out in storage. I do want to build this bike soon. I don't have a buyer lined up for it, which means it doesn't make sense for me to build before I do the customer builds. But you guys will see a Will It Run video on this very soon. It'll have some of the kind of same updates I'm giving you here because I started filming this about a week ago. But you should be excited for that, and then we can kind of work together as a team to figure out how we want to build this bike. Since it is my bike that I will be building to sell, like I said, I don't have a buyer lined up, so we can kind of have a little bit of creative freedom on what we want to do. I have some ideas, but I'll cover those in that Will It Run video, which you guys, again, will see hopefully within the next week or so, fingers crossed. Last bike I'm going to update you guys on is this one. So this is the latest customer project. This is a Cb500 that the customer found me through Instagram, actually local, which is very cool because a lot of my customers have had to transport their bikes here and transport them home, which is obviously a pretty decent expense. So the fact that this guy is local is awesome because I could just go pick up the bike, talk to him in person, really bounce ideas off of him. When it comes time to deliver the bike, I can, deliver it in person, go over everything with them. It's a lot easier when the customer's close by. So this is a project that he picked up probably a year and a half ago, had a little bit of work done, and then it's been parked since then. So what we're doing here is a lot of the exact same thing as the 7-day 550, which is why I'm not gonna make this an entire build series, because I do not wanna show you guys the exact same bike being built over again, but I will show you some parts of this bike. So you will probably see a in-depth overview of the condition of the bike the way it is now, with a little bit of details on what we're gonna be doing to the bike. And then I want to find 1 or 2 sections of the build to do kind of a more in-depth how-to videos on. And then you'll probably see a final video on this project. So that's kind of my idea of how I can keep you guys in the loop, create some content, but not bore you guys to death with building, CB550s over and over and over again. So this bike again is gonna be the next on the chopping block. I ordered a whole bunch of parts for it today, and we are kind of all approved as far as the modifications we're gonna make. So I'm ready to dive into this thing either this afternoon or first thing tomorrow. Well, that's what I've been up to for the last 2 weeks. I apologize for the little kind of lapse in content, but I trust with this video we'll get back in the groove and start to put out a couple of videos a week for you guys. You'll see the next video is gonna be kind of the walk around overview in depth of this bike. The plans, what parts we're gonna use, the color we're gonna paint the tank, all of that kind of stuff. And then I do wanna do those how-to videos as well. So if you have a request for a how-to on something that I'm going to do to this bike, it's gonna be very similar to the 7-day build, let me know, and I'd be happy to kind of make that a dedicated video of how I'm gonna do X, Y, or Z. So do drop a comment below if you have requests for that. After this one, we have another local bike we're gonna be picking up, and then actually we have 2 local bikes. One of them is not a Honda, so that'll be some interesting kind of change of content, which I know a lot of you guys have requested, and then it'll be a good kind of walk through kind of diagnostics similar to a Will It Run video, because the bike kind of ran into trouble and we're gonna have to figure out what the problem is. So all of that's coming up in the next few weeks. Again, I really do appreciate everybody's patience. I appreciate all the people that have ordered shirts and stickers and all that kind of stuff lately too. That stuff really does help. I don't really have any channel sponsors or anything. So every Patreon supporter and every shirt and stuff really does help going to the shop and making sure I can put out content for you guys. I do want to, again, continue to make this a priority to get videos out, because getting to 100,000 is what I want to do in 2020, and putting out tons of videos is the only way I know to get there. So I appreciate it again. I will see you guys very soon.